Do you know what time it is? Do you know what time it is? Of course you know what time it is. It's Tim. It's New York Giants Straight Talk. Oh, I feel like we haven't done a video in a hiccup. Or I should say on camera video. We've been doing the podcast, but we have to get back to the bread and butter. We got to go back to being on the camera, doing all that fun stuff. I want to talk about Daniel Jones, Mr. Jones, and I want to talk about Dave Gettleman for a little bit because you know what? Everyone's giving Shane this heaping amount of praise because of the fact that he is re-signing these players. But where did these players come from? Where did this core nucleus of the Giants come from? And we need to talk about that. But you know what we need to talk about first? Your wireless service. Why? Because everyone knows I'm a Mint Mobile guy, and I'm partnering with them today on this video. And you probably know Mint Mobile because of Ryan Reynolds. Those commercials. They make you laugh. They make you smile. But you know what makes me laugh? You know what makes me smile? It makes me happy? Mint Mobile's service. If you are looking for a quality service, are you looking for a premium network that's as low as $15 a month? And you don't have to sacrifice coverage, speed, everything large as 5G. It's Mint Mobile. You see a QR code. You see mintmobile.com/online Big Blue. Go there right now. I'll wait. As you're there, switch over to the service. Everyone knows that I have switched over to Mint Mobile. I left a certain company, and I'm not going to tell you who they are, but maybe it starts with a V. I've also picked up a second line because of the fact that it's the online Big Blue line. They Mint Mobile offers family plans, super affordable prices for as little as 2 lines. If you're ready to make the switch, it's easy as 15 minutes. Go to mintmobile.com/Big Blue. You see the QR code, scan that as well. Change to a quality 5G service that's only going to make you smile. A lot of things that make Giant fans smile is Daniel Jones. Our certain segment of Daniel Jones fans smile, I guess. I don't smile when I talk about Daniel Jones because of the fact that I think that if you're going to be paying a quarterback X amount of money, he should do X amount of things. And that's what I want to talk about today for a minute. Everyone wants to pontificate what Daniel Jones should be, what Daniel Jones should do. You give him the money. You make him a paid top 10 quarterback. Some people will point out the fact that, yes, he's only really getting $32 million guaranteed over the first 2 seasons. But if you go through the term of the contract, it's $40 million a year. You actually have to look at the term of the contract, not just the guaranteed money. Smart fans do that. Other fans just whine and say, oh, it's only $32 million. But what should we expect from Daniel Jones? We paid for average. And you could look at the stats, look at the career history. Daniel Jones is an average quarterback. We paid an average quarterback as if he was an elite quarterback. And we've had this conversation before, but we never really talked about what should be his statistics, what he should do this season. And I always think about this, and I always go back and I think to myself, Daniel Jones has no excuses this year. Really doesn't. If you could look about what the Giants did, they went out and got Paris Campbell. They went out and got the Walla Walla Waller. They tagged Saquon Barkley. They're bringing back Darius Slayton. They're bringing back most of his wide receivers from last year outside of Richie James. They drafted Jalen Hyatt. They got him another running back. They went and picked up a right tackle in the draft last year. Now they picked up a center. There's no more excuses. The excuses are done. I love that famous movie when they say, your excuses are your own. They're done. There's no more excuses. This offense has to change. This offense has to evolve. We talked about it on the live stream 2 days ago, I think it was, or whenever it was, on Sunday. And the thing was this. If you talk about Jason Garrett's offense being very predictable, the Kafka offense was just as predictable. We've talked about it before. Play action, roll out right. You either throw it to the tight end if he's open. If not, Daniel Jones runs. And it worked extensively for a while, but then we always go back and revert to the Bears game and the Texans game and the Washington game, the first Washington game, the tie. As soon as the team figured it out, in the Bears game, they ran play action rollout like 3 times in a row. But then they figured it out in the second half, and it was a different game. Giants almost had the potential of losing that Bears game. Same with the Texans game. They figured it out. And then we almost lost that game. We tied the Washington game, and we couldn't even move the ball in overtime. But right now, we've said it before, there is a word in Webster's dictionary. There is a word that we always talk about, that we always preach, that should be the moniker for 2023, and that's vertical. The vertical offense. Air it out. Let's see what happens. Just grip it and rip it. And that's what you need to do. And that's what I think the Giants need to do. I think that's what the philosophy needs to change. I think, just one thing. You got people that are like, well, you shouldn't pay Saquon Barkley. You should just let him go because he really wasn't all the offense. That's the look I give when I hear something that just doesn't make sense. That's the look you get. You want to see it again? Kind of an Elvis look at the same time. What's up, baby? He was the offense. You talk to people. I've mentioned this on the stream as well. I spoke to someone who actually works in Washington. And I was talking about the Giants and the draft and everything going on and how Washington doesn't have a quarterback. And just good fun ribbing. And I love it because this person looked at me, deadpan face, and said, we're not scared of Daniel Jones. We think we know how to beat him. So the whole philosophy of the Giants offense needs to change. You need to go vertical. You need to go forward. Be bold and mighty forces will come to your aid. How many times have we said that? Throw the ball deep. You're not going to be able to run as much this year. As more and more teams gather film on the 2022 Giants, they're going to figure out, don't be over-aggressive with your rush. Do what Philadelphia does. Park a guy in the middle of the field, the safety, a linebacker. Don't over-pursue. Don't over-commit. Keep Daniel Jones in the middle of the pocket, and good things will happen for the other team. That needs to change. That philosophy needs to go away. The philosophy needs to be this. Go deep, young man. That's what you need to do. You had 600-700 yards last year. You can't have that. You're going to probably have like 400 if you're lucky this year. Because teams are just going to collapse the pocket. Teams are, and I've said this before, you want to rattle Daniel Jones, puts the rush in the middle of his face. And then some people are like, well, that'll rattle every quarterback. No. There are plenty of quarterbacks in this league that can go through the rush, can go through the progressions with the rush coming directly in their face. Daniel Jones has issues with that. But what you need to do is you need to make him a pocket passer. You need him to look deep. You have a guy in Waller who can open up the middle of the field. You have now Darius Slayton and Jalen Hyatt who are burners, who can then turn around and open up single coverage on maybe the tight end, maybe the running back, maybe the slot receiver. Because they are going to have to give over-the-top safety help. Because you are not going to want these guys to get behind you. But all of this is predicated on one thing. This is all predicated on one thing. And that's Daniel Jones actually throwing the ball. And that's going to be, we've said it before.
Are you a big man? Huh? I'm talking to you. What? You wake up in the morning, you say, I put on my big boy pants. Look, I'm wearing a belt. I got big boy pants on.
It's the big boy pants time. It's time to stay in the pocket, go through your reads, go through your progressions, and make the throws. If you can't, or you're not willing to, it's going to be a very long season. If you can't and you're unwilling to, it's going to be a very long 2024. Because the Dahmer said it. The Dahmer pointed it out to me the other day. We've had Daniel Jones almost for a half a decade. Or we're going to have him for a half a decade this year. I have never in my life in the NFL, and this is going back watching the NFL since 1976, watching my first Giant home game when they opened up MetLife and Craig Morton got whacked by the Dallas Cowboys, his former team. Never seen a quarterback giving so much opportunity, so many chances, so many excuses. People will talk about Eli Manning had all these excuses. No, Eli Manning showed a progression his first 2 years, and then he kind of peaked. He plateaued. And that was his problem. Daniel Jones is up, down, 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 a little bit up. Then you get superstar money. It's a big difference. We talked about it before. People talk about Phil Simms. No, Phil Simms in 79 was co-offensive rookie of the year in some writers' pools. Rookie quarterback of the year. Was leading the 81 Giants to the playoffs when he got hurt. His issues was injuries, not his play. He couldn't beat out Scott Brunner in 83 because Bill Parcells even said in his book and in interviews he made a bad mistake in 83. He listened to people and he started Scott Brunner when he shouldn't have. It almost cost him his job. And then when he decided he was going to go for Phil Simms in 84, Phil Simms, what does he do? He throws for over 4,000 yards. First giant quarterback to do that. Leads them to 9-7 in the playoffs. And then shows a progression. Yes, he plateaued in 86, but then he turned it all around midseason. So it's not a comparison. This is the comparison. You need to be bold. You need to take your shots down the field. You need to be Mahomian. You need to kind of focus on that Patrick Mahomes style offense. Patrick Mahomes really did what he did and win the Super Bowl with really nothing that was anything spectacular offensively in reference to his wide receivers. And that's what Daniel Jones has to do. But Daniel Jones potentially has wide receivers. He potentially has tight ends. He potentially has an all-pro tight end, an all-pro running back, an all-pro left tackle. Hopefully a better maybe a rookie of the year center. Potentially, a very good rookie wide receiver. You're bringing back everybody from last year, basically, on the receiving course, so you have continuity. Because I always hear Daniel Jones needs continuity. Well, you have the continuity. This is the no excuse year. There's no excuses that he cannot throw for 4,000 yards, between 28 and 30 touchdowns, and then rush for maybe another 400 yards, another 5 touchdowns. If you cannot do that, if you cannot do this, and we broke down the stats on the stream on Sunday with R0B, so go back and look at it, about how Daniel Jones can do this and what he should be able to do. But if he can't throw for over 4,000 yards, like I said, I'll take 4,000. I'll take 4,100, Gene. I will also take 28 to 30 touchdowns. I will even give you 12 to 15 interceptions because you are going to be throwing the ball deep. People are asking me, Tim, are you crazy?
Are you crazy? Ow!
Yeah, I'm crazy. What made you think I was sane?
That might have been Ryan Reynolds, today's partner for today's video, Mint Mobile. But this should be easily obtained. If he stays in the pocket, if he shows his mettle, if he shows his wear, I don't see a problem with this. I find it interesting, though, and I want to talk about Dave Gettleman for a minute. Poor Dave Gettleman. Dave Gettleman has gotten the brunt of and the ire of Giant fans for years now because of his handling of the team and how he drove this team into oblivion. But I laugh because if you go back and look at Dave Gettleman, yes, he did some stupid things, but he's all right now as Joe Shane is getting all the credit in reference to putting this team together. What about poor Dave Gettleman? If you look at the nucleus of the team that we're signing, these aren't the guys that are brought in by Joe Shane. They're Dave Gettleman guys. And these guys are evidently important. We're going to start down the list right away. Andrew Thomas will get another big contract, all-pro left tackle. A linchpin of this team. He deserves to get paid. Xavier McKinney, same 2000 draft. He's going to get paid as well. Why? Because he has earned it. And he is a second-round steal, 36th overall pick, that Gettleman went out and got. You look at the 2023 Giants, you still have Matt from Connecticut on the team. You got Darnay Holmes, Shane Lemieux, Cam Brown, Carter Coughlin are still on the team. So it was a good draft. It was a good draft, and you have 2 vital cogs out of your 53-man roster. Then you go to 19. Your quarterback. Your quarterback, who you just gave $40 million a year to, and hopefully is that key cog you just signed. Sexy Dexy. You gave Dexter Lawrence, 17th pick overall. You gave him the big money as well. So right now, out of the 53-man roster, we have 4 vital cogs that are Gettleman guys. Same draft, you have Darius Slayton, who you just brought back on a pretty team. People complain about the Slayton deal. It's not an issue. You brought him back on a pretty good team-friendly deal if you look at production. But you bring him back as well. You had Julian Love in the same draft who you let go. But Julian Love played his heart out for the Giants. Yeah, I was a little sad to see him go because I think he was coming into his own. But it is what it is. You still have, oh, Shane, can you see, on this team as well now. Then you look also at 18. You got Saquon Barkley. And in the league still is Will Hernandez, Lorenzo Carter had a great year in Atlanta, and B.J. Hill. But these are guys that you brought in, that Gettleman brought in. So you have Barkley, Dexter, Daniel, McKinney, Thomas. These were good guys to get. You also can go to 2021 and look at Azeez Ojulari. You still even have Aaron Robinson, Mr. Emerson Smith, Gary Brightwell, or Darius Williams still on the team. Made a mistake with Kadarius Toney. I say that 100%. Didn't like that trade whatsoever. Thought it was a dumb trade. You had Parsons sitting there. Had Parsons sitting right in front of you. You could have had that linebacker you had lost for years in Giants lore, but you didn't get it. But that's fine. But if you're looking at the key components of this team, the nucleus, if you say, of this team, they're all Gettleman guys. They're all Gettleman guys. And the thing is this. I've said this before. Daniel Jones is no longer the quarterback of Dave Gettleman. Daniel Jones is now the quarterback of Joe Schoen because he gave him basically 2 extra years. If he fails in this 2 extra years, he's going to potentially regret it because he may not get a chance to pick his own quarterback. Because a lot of times you don't get to pick your own quarterback in this league if you fail on the first time. And technically, if Daniel Jones goes kaput, Shane probably won't be around because he'll probably have 2 losing seasons in a row. And I don't know if this organization will allow him to pick a second quarterback. But you got to give Gettleman some credit. You can hate him. You can love him. You could be indifferent about him. I don't care. Watch this. I'm indifferent. See? That's why I like doing camera videos. I can be indifferent. But you got to give him credit. Going to do a little contest to see how far people watch. And we'll have a good prize. We'll have a good online Big Blue prize package or what the hell is it called? What the heck is it called? New York Giants Straight Talk package. I got to get that right. I added something new to the wall. I added something new today at the Wall of Fun. I added something new. If you can pick and be the first person to tell me what new thing I added in the Wall of Fun, I closed down the wall a little bit so you could see it more. But if you could tell me what I added, I will send you an online Big Blue New York Giants Straight Talk surprise package. Also, for those that do not know, if you're an OG member, $1.99 a month, we're doing something special. We usually do a subscriber game where I take at least 3 subscribers to the Coaches Club, to a Giant game. You get to go hang out on the sideline, hang out in the Coaches Club. You get to then basically go on the field after the game. It's a lot of fun. You get to meet former players. We're going to do an OG member game only. I'm going to take 4 OG members to a game. You get to do all these things I talk about. It is the ticket to the game. You have to pay for your own parking and your own transportation, but I will get you a ticket. You will hang out with me and the other members. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time. We've posted the pictures before, so if you want to be on that list, email me at tim@onlinebigbblue.com, tim@onlinebigbblue.com. We've already put it up on Twitter and stuff, so or just in the OG member chat, I should rephrase that. And we've already gotten 1 or 2 responses already, so I think only 2 spots are open right now. So if you do want to be part of this, please just email me. You have to be an OG member at tim@onlinebigbblue.com, and we will make sure that you are, like I said, as long as the spots are open, come on down. We're going to take 4 subscribers to the game, and you get to hang out in the Coaches Club, get to watch the game from the sideline, and then after the game, you get to go out on the field and hang out with me on the field. Maybe I'll throw you a pass. Maybe I'll throw you a touchdown pass, getting the guns ready to throw the ball. Oh, it's a lot of fun being me. We got a lot of fun videos coming up. Got a lot of fun draft topics, but I just wanted to kind of get this out of the way because it was just something I was thinking about. I want to again thank Mint Mobile. And like I said, if you are looking, in all seriousness, if you are looking for quality service, if you are looking to make a change in your cell phone, it's a good price. It's a great network. It's just, like I said, I've changed. I was with my one company for like 20 years. I changed. I switched. And not only do I have 1 Mint Mobile number, I have 2. So you see the down there, mintmobile.com/bigblue. See the QR code, scan that as well. Go out and give it a shot, man. What do you got to lose? It really is a great quality service. So we got a lot of stuff coming on. And again, this is Tim. This is New York Giants Straight Talk. And I'm out of here.